saying, or you weren't able to hear what I was saying. So here we go. I'm going to patch Erica in, and I will ask her the same questions that we already asked at the beginning of the last one. So here we are. Okay, looking for Erica. Let me see. Okay, still just waiting for Erica to patch on. Oh, Erica's on my... Okay, I'm gonna try this again. Sorry that this is happening to you. I know that I've been talking to you every day on FaceTime and checking in on you. But for everybody else who doesn't know what's going on, Erica tested positive for the coronavirus, for COVID-19, and I wanted to shed light, and she has graciously offered to share with everyone what's been going on with her, so that if you have similar symptoms or if you're feeling anything that is concerning, you know, at least firsthand what's been going on. And Erica, how old are you?
I'm 28. I turn 29 next week.
So she's young. Erica's in her 20s. She's young. She's healthy. She, at this moment, isn't healthy, but lives a healthy lifestyle. And there's this common misconception that everyone that's getting sick and is dying is older. And a lot of people that I've seen on their stories or anything that I've been following, and of course, there's people that I haven't seen, but from what I've seen, a lot of people kind of downplayed their symptoms and what they've been going through. And I've seen firsthand how bad it's hit you. And I think it's important for other people to know and take this seriously, because it can get really dark sometimes. And I've seen you have crazy coughing fits and not be able to hold food down. And you've just been going through a really rough time. And who's taking care of you?
Right now, no one's taking care of me. Physically in my apartment. I live alone. My immediate family lives in Alabama, but my cousin and my brother live a couple streets over, and they've been dropping my medicine off at my doorstep and dropping off food, and I've had some family friends dropping off food. So people are being so kind and texting me and making me stuff, but no one is physically here, which is hard because I have horrible days. And it's hard to, you know, help for yourself when you don't feel well. So I'm here alone in my apartment.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I'm okay.
I mean, it's weird because, like, obviously when you're not feeling well, you want somebody to take care of you, but you're following the protocol and you're self-isolating, which is really safe and responsible for other people so that you don't infect other people. But how did it start? Like, what was your first inkling or symptom that you had, and when did you have that symptom?
Sure, yeah. So about 2.5 weeks ago, close to 3 weeks ago, I got a tickle in my throat. It just felt like a little bit of a sinus, just a little dry tickle. I was nervous to cough around anyone because of everyone freaking out for good reason. And I thought that I was kind of overworking my body. I've been trying to be really healthy, and I was working out a lot, and I didn't know if my body just needed some rest. But the tickle started in my throat, and then my body got super achy. My lower back was really hurting, my neck was so tense, so tight, and my legs were hurting me, like not normal. So I started getting the chills a little bit, but everything weirdly went away after about 4 days. I felt I was getting really bad migraines, like horrible migraines behind my eyes that whole time. And I kept taking Advil, which you later, decide you're not allowed to take Advil. You're supposed to only take Tylenol.
Right. That's a good point, actually,
Yeah.
that we should put out a disclaimer to everyone out there that we are just sharing Erica's story. We're not health professionals. We're not doctors. We're not giving any medical advice. We're just sort of talking about what you've been going through and what you've been told.
Totally.
And I've heard that too, that Advil is not recommended. I don't know if that's true or not. I also read something that was a rumor, but I've heard that Tylenol was probably the best course of action.
Tylenol is the only way you're supposed to treat any sort of migraine / fever. Ibuprofen and Advil are not good for you.
This is per your doctor, or how did you get this
doctor.
information?
From many doctors have told me this. And they've also told me that I was originally, when I first started getting a little tickle in my throat, I was taking Mucinex.
Oh.
And I was told by a head doctor at UCLA that Mucinex is really bad for you during this time because mucus in your throat. I unfortunately have too much mucus in my throat, and I'm already choking on it. So the only cough medicine you should be taking is this cough medicine and NyQuil.
What is that? DELSYM? Can you say it?
Yep. Deslum.
Deslum? Okay.
And it's what the doctors told me to take. Just however many times, every 6 hours, take another 30 milliliters. But yeah, so those are my first.
And everyone needs to be careful because obviously everyone's body is different. I have an autoimmune disease, so I'm at higher risk, and I have a lot of allergies. So I probably couldn't take that cough medicine. So you have to check with your doctor if you're listening to this, and if you're looking for relief, don't just take our word for it. Check with your health professional, please.
Of course.
Okay, I have a list of questions over here that I wanted to ask you. So this was about 9 days ago, would you say, that you started feeling really bad, or is that when you got tested?
9 days ago was when I was in full on, all symptoms were affected. Before that, I felt not great, and I knew that I needed to get tested because my body wasn't feeling normal. But 9 days ago was when the fever started every day and when all the symptoms started getting worse.
Right. Yeah. And then when, because how did you know that you actually had to get tested? Because if I drink water and it goes down the wrong pipe and I choke a little bit, I start to think that I have a cough and I get paranoid. Or if I don't know, if I go for a run outside and then I'm sweating, I'm like, oh, is it the sweat from the workout, or is it a fever coming on?
Right.
Like we're all kind of paranoid right now.
Yeah.
So how did you know that yours was different and it wasn't just in your head? It was real.
I had never felt the way my body was feeling ever in my life. I have had the flu really bad. I've gotten strep. I've had all of the normal sicknesses that people get. I had never felt so horrible. And a really weird symptom that started happening was I lost all sense of smell and all sense of taste. I still can't smell anything. I still can't taste anything, like at all. Because I started spraying a fabric disinfectant on my couch and I couldn't smell it. And then I got a Febreze and I sprayed it and I couldn't smell it. Then I went to my perfumes and put it against my nose and nothing was there.
Wow.
So I called my mom freaking out.
And this was an early symptom?
This was an early symptom. At that time, no one had really talked about losing their sense of smell or taste. It hasn't been really diagnosed yet with the doctors. Mm-hmm. But now everyone's saying that that's a really big symptom. Is that? But I knew that wasn't normal. So I knew that I needed to get tested because everything in my body was shutting down.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when you did decide that you needed to get tested, once you made that decision, where did you go? Did you go to a hospital? Did you, how did that process
Sure.
unfold?
I called about 5 or 6 hospitals in LA. Either everyone told me to call my primary doctor, which unfortunately I don't really have a primary doctor in LA. My primary doctor is in Alabama. And I explained,
which I'm sure a lot of people are like that, whether like some people don't have insurance, some people are not from this state. So I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that.
Totally. Which I think I'm in the norm with that. So I kept explaining to people I was really frustrated because all I wanted to get was tested. Either places didn't have it. They wouldn't listen to me, or they would refer me to someone else or a hotline. So I went to the closest urgent care, 2 of them, and they wouldn't open the doors for me either. The doors were physically locked. So because on the door it showed, if you have any of these symptoms, to please leave and call a number, which is the number I've already called. So my friend found this guy online who does home visits, usually mostly IVs and normal home doctor visits, and he had just gotten in a handful of corona testing and had posted that book now limited corona tests, and I had emailed them letting them know my symptoms, and 2 days later they responded saying that they'll come to the house tomorrow.
Okay, so walk us through that process. Because I'm sure people saw the video that I posted, but if they didn't, once they came to your house, how did that go down?
Sorry, hold on a second.
Because by the way, like I said, I keep having all these false alarms and thinking I might have something because I'm paranoid and crazy and in my head. And, you know, I feel like when we did reach out to try to get a test preemptively, a lot of the hospitals don't have tests, or they need to be reserved for people who really do need them. So when they did come to your house, how did that all go down?
Sure. So like I said, at the time, no one really had tests. There are more tests now available in Los Angeles area. I know Sears Urgent Care offers testing. But when they came to my house, they had called me, letting me know they were 10 minutes away. And it was a very strange situation. They told me to have a pen in my hand and to have a chair outside of my door, which I don't have a lot of room outside my door. I live on the top by stairs. So it was right when you open my door, I put my chair there. And they got changed at the bottom of the stairs, put on 2 layers of like Terminator outfits. Not actually, but
like a hazmat suit?
Yeah, exactly. And then they put on a mask and a helmet and 2 things of gloves. And then they walked up the stairs and they put a bag by my feet that everything that touched my body, they would throw in the bag. And they explained to me how the test isn't going to be comfortable. They put this long needle in my nose that went all the way up to here. And it was very painful. It lasted about 10 to 15 seconds. And then after they had taken my test, they threw it in their medicine sealed envelope, and then they let me know that it would take 72 hours to find out if I was positive or not, and that was on Tuesday
of last week.
Mm-hmm.
So why did they have you put the chair outside of your...
They didn't want to come into my home. They didn't want to be exposed to anything. They are trying to be as safe and efficient as possible, which I understand.
Gotcha.
So they don't want to be inside any potential corona infested home.
Of course, understandably, they don't.
Yeah.
I mean, they're already risking their lives.
Exactly.
To keep you safe and all the rest of it safe. So, and then you threw out their hazmat suits.
I threw them away. They put them in the bag, and they told me that I was to take them and then dispose them at my in my trash can because they don't want to touch anything that's touch my body.
Right, because they don't. If something gets on the suit and then they take it out, then they're exposing more people in the outside world. At least in your home, it can be thrown out and disposed of, and hopefully die in the garbage can. Okay. So how are you feeling now? And once you found out, actually, more importantly, like not more importantly, but first, let me ask you: when you did, like, what were those next couple of days until you found out what the results were?
I had thought that the worst had already come. When they had tested me, I thought that I would start feeling better because I wasn't feeling as horrible at that point. But I was wrong. The worst days were the days after, leading up to when I got told yes. I had felt horrible. I called my parents a couple times a day thinking I needed to go to the hospital. The only reason I didn't go to the hospital was because I can breathe, which I'm very fortunate that I don't need any sort of machine. So I have been able to stay here. The doctor who I was in contact with kept telling me to put on any sort of like Fitbit or Apple Watch to monitor my heartbeat to make sure my heartbeat was on a normal level, and to keep taking Tylenol for the fevers that I was having all day. So I took 6 to 8 Tylenol a day, just sweating it out all day. But the worst days were leading up to the phone call that I was positive. I'm feeling a little better right now. This is the first time in 9 days that I've felt a little bit better. I'm super dehydrated. Can't keep anything down. Can't keep anything out. I've had maybe rice and some sweet potatoes mashed up. I have no appetite, and when I do eat it, I just unfortunately get sick.
Wow.
But
wow.
Yeah.
How are you? Like you said, now you're feeling better. It's been 9 days, but you're not. Are you better, or are you like?
I'm not better. I feel better. Every day prior, I wouldn't have been able to even speak this much.
So you're saying today is your first day of kind of making any kind of improvement.
Correct.
So after 9 days of symptoms, like bad symptoms.
Horrible symptoms.
And how many days have you had a fever? Like, do you have a fever right now?
I do. I have a fever right now. My fever's right. I'm taking Tylenol, so it's coming out of me. I've had fever every single day since Monday.
So 9
without
days.
fail for 9 days.
Wow, that's so scary. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm feeling a little better, which is nice. It's hard to feel like there's going to be a normal day again. And I'm excited for those days. But I am feeling a little bit better. The doctor prescribed me more medicine.
What are they prescribing people who are getting positive test results?
So I need to say that what I'm taking has not been clinically 100% proven that it is helping. It is an experiment still. But doctors have prescribed me malaria medicine.
Interesting.
They say that it's helping patients. Again, it's all healthy. It's like FDA approved, but it's not by any means a cure. I take 2 a day for 5 days. I'm on day 3.
I wouldn't show that right now because we don't want,
I don't even know how to say it, to be honest with you. But I am taking that, and they prescribe you a Z-Pack, which I have not taken. And
why did you not take it?
I've been told by many doctors I don't need to take both at the same time.
Got it. Okay.
It made me feel nauseous, and I already feel nauseous, so I'm trying to see how I feel by just taking this one right now. And if it doesn't work, then I'll jump in the Z-Pack. But I don't want to feel. I already feel a little bit like too much medicine, even though it's not a lot, is inside me because I can't keep any food or liquids down. So I don't want to get more sick than I need to be.
Okay. Yeah, of course not.
Yeah.
Okay. At any point, did you feel like you did need to go to the hospital?
Yes,
And yeah.
many times. Many times, like between Wednesday and Friday, I called my parents like every day saying I need to go to the hospital. But the only reason I didn't go was because I can breathe. And people that are in the hospital right now are the rooms, the beds are only being taken by people who need to be hooked up to ventilators and are breathing on their own. And I'm fortunate enough that I can breathe on my own.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's another thing that is really important that we talk about for a second is,
Yes.
I mean, this obviously, as you guys can all see, this is not a joke. We're in the middle of a pandemic and people are sick and getting very sick. And some people that are in the hospitals on the breathing machines are dying, and it's spreading really, really quickly, much more quickly than we can keep up with. And there aren't enough beds at the hospitals.
Yeah.
There's not enough equipment. They're running out of masks. They're running out of gloves. Like it's a weird time. And so it's really important to reiterate that self-quarantining, like you were doing, and like most people are doing, taking it seriously so that we can sort of slow the curve and not let this thing keep worsening and worsening as
Yeah.
it feels like it is. Because a lot of people are still like out and about partying, going to bars or meeting up with big groups of people, and if you haven't already been quarantining, then like you need to go home and stay at home. And yes, it is important. Like you've said that you're alone, and it sucks that no one can take care of you, but it's good because you follow
Yeah.
the protocol and you haven't gotten anyone else sick. That's the most important thing. But like, I mean, if you're already quarantined with someone, like a spouse or a friend or a boyfriend or your kids, you can continue to quarantine with them, and you can go outside and exercise and walk your dog. Like I have a dog. I walked my dog the other day and I went for a bike ride. But like it's important that you stay inside when you can, and when you need to get some fresh air every once in a while, get some vitamin D. That's also healthy and important. And
Yeah.
but you need to be staying inside because we need to slow the curve as much as possible. So
Yeah.
whoever you're quarantined with, whoever you were stuck with at the beginning a few weeks ago, that's who you're stuck with for however long. And it's important that people really take this seriously and follow those rules, so that it doesn't keep spreading and spreading and spreading, so that we give the doctors and we give the medical professionals the time that they need to catch up and hopefully find a cure or find a vaccine or something,
Yeah.
so that we can help people like you.
You're right. That's the better we listen and the more we quarantine, the faster this will be resolved.
Yeah. So no more like the other day when I did go for a walk, I saw down at the beach, like people were just like hanging out in crowds on the beach and drinking and just like business as usual. And it's super irresponsible and super selfish. And you have to be considerate of other people, and it's not just about your own safety. You're putting other people at risk. You're putting elderly people at risk. Like it's not you obviously, but those people that are not taking it seriously.
Yeah.
You need to practice social distancing and be respectful for other people's safety.
Absolutely. I live above someone who's super old, and I'm making sure I'm not losing my partner on camera.
Yeah, of course. That's good. Let me look at what else we have here. Did your doctors tell you about what vitamins that you should be taking, or like zinc or vitamin C or D or anything like that? I know that a lot of people have been saying to sleep and drink as much water as possible and not eat a lot of sugar or bad foods, because those are immune suppressants. But anything that you've heard from anyone?
Doctors, like you said, I've just been drinking a ton of Pedialyte, a ton of Gatorade, a ton of water.
But that's because you've been vomiting and not feeling like in order to replenish your electrolytes, or in general they wanted you
In
to?
general, the virus takes over a lot of your immune system and makes you super dehydrated. And it's in your lungs. It's in, in my throat and my lungs. So it'll automatically make you dehydrated if you don't stay on top of drinking.
Yeah.
And I have been drinking as much as possible. I've been taking some probiotics, some gummy vitamins, nothing crazy. I started off taking a bunch of vitamin C once a day, emergency packets, and I've kind of leaned away from it. I'm trying to eat oranges, cuties, as much as I possibly can, for not only the taste of it, because my taste, ugh, but also for the vitamins that it has. But I haven't much more than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so another thing I wanted to mention really quickly is that there's a couple of actionable steps that people can do. As I mentioned earlier, the hospitals are running out of a lot of supplies, a lot of supplies. So I saw that Bethany Frankel and Ellen DeGeneres both donated to get masks and other supplies to hospitals. So I'm going to front $10,000 to get some medical equipment and masks and other things to hospitals in need. And I'm going to partner with them. And I'm in the next, once I post this live, I'm going to post a story with the link to the organization that I'm donating to. And I'd love to encourage anyone out there that can also spare, even if it's, whatever you can do. Obviously that's a lot of money, so not everyone can do that. But if you guys, even if every single person that follows me, which is 19 million people, if every single person donated one mask to the website that I'm going to give you guys, that would be 19 million masks. You know how many lives that would save or keep protected in this time? So if there's anything anyone can do, I would please ask and encourage everyone to try to help. And there's other things that I'll post some other ways that you can help if you're at home. Feeding America is a great option. So Feeding America is the largest hunger relief organization in the country, with a network of 200 food banks in every county that work with 60,000 partner agencies that include local pantries, feeding programs, and soup kitchens and shelters. So they're amazing. As I mentioned, Be Strong is who I'm partnering with, the Global Empowerment Mission. And I'll get that info to you guys shortly. But if there's any, do you want to really quickly get some questions from people that are wondering at home, that are watching the live right now?
Sure.
Thank you, by the way. I know you're honestly such a trooper, and this is so hard. And you're being so strong, and I hope that today is the beginning of your recovery, and that you get better, and that you're feeling that you're back in fighting shape soon, because I know we're all sending you love and positive energy and thoughts.
Yeah, you've been helpful. You've been so helpful. So thank you.
Of course. Okay, so what's the feeling in your lungs? Somebody just asked.
It feels it feels like if I breathe too heavy or too quickly, I have a coughing attack. And when I'm walking, just the bathroom to the couch, I'm definitely more out of breath than usual. It was really bad earlier this week. I felt like I had run a marathon just walking to the refrigerator. So it's definitely an intense effect where you feel like you are out of breath for no reason, and it's very noticeable.
Does it hurt to breathe? Someone asked. Speaking of your breath,
it doesn't hurt to breathe. I just need to. I'm talking very monotone, and I'm breathing very slowly. I can't breathe in deeply, and then the coughing attack starts again. So you just have to be very calm, very mellow.
Did the symptoms come on rapidly, or did they slowly creep up? And over how many days between the first one until Yeah, can you walk us through like a day to day, like every like the 9 days?
Yeah, sure. So by Monday of last week,
So that's day one.
day one of really not feeling well, I had a full on horrible cough,
Okay.
where mucus is coming out of my mouth when I'm coughing. Fever, chills, achy, horrible migraines.
That's
Like,
day one, so
yeah, day one.
okay.
But the fever wasn't as bad yet, and the chills just felt like I was cold, but it didn't feel super uncomfortable. And then everything stayed pretty much the same. It just got more extreme. So I never necessarily got more symptoms um, between these 9 days. It just got worse.
Mm.
So the migraines got worse.
Switching.
The coughing got more. There was more coughing than non-coughing. There were more fevers than not fevers. So everything just got hyped. But all the
That's day two.
Yeah, just day two. And then it's day two. It kind of stayed the same, to be honest with you. Today's the first day that I'm a little bit catching a break, but
I remember when I was FaceTiming with you on like Wednesday of last week specifically, you were like, you could barely talk and you were just like barely lifting your head and you were sweating like crazy.
Yeah. It was
Sorry to out you, but there's those symptoms too, and like,
yeah, they're all the same kind of symptoms. They're just worse. They're just like I feel so weak. 2 days ago, I feel like I couldn't even raise my arm.
wow. How high was your fever at the highest point?
103.3.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's insane. And then what was your like your average like resting fever when it wasn't super high like that, like regular
99 to 100.
Wow. So it would just keep fluctuating from 99 to 103, 99 to 103. You'd have like little mini breaks, but just kind of fever for 9 days.
Exactly. For
Jesus.
9. Yeah. But the weird thing about it is, there's days like between the past 2 days, my parents have called and asking how I feel, and I'll feel better, and I'll get positive because I'll think I'll feel better, and then 2 hours later I'll feel horrible again. So it's definitely been a wave of hopeful that I'm feeling a little better, feeling like I have more energy, and then all of a sudden feeling horrible again. So I'm hopeful that today is feeling better and it's not going to go back down.
I hope so too. I really, 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 really do.
Yeah.
Do you think that like you obviously haven't seen anybody since you started feeling unwell, but what about, because there was that period of time where all of us kind of knew that something was going on that was serious, but weren't fully on lockdown quite yet. So we were all still seeing people like 2 weeks ago, let's say. Did any of that group of people that you may have been around over 2 weeks ago, did anyone get sick in that friend group?
No one has. 3 weeks ago, I was pretty to myself still. I wasn't seeing many people. The only day that I had been really around anyone was at the grocery. And then 2 Saturdays ago, so not last Saturday, but Saturday before, I was at my cousin's house. And I felt fine. I felt the cough was going away. I felt way more normal than I had. And I went to her house to just get out of my apartment for a second. And then the next day, Sunday, I did not feel well. And then Monday was when it all started happening.
So nobody, your cousins, nobody in that group is feeling anything?
Nobody.
That's so interesting.
I know.
That just goes to show that like you could get it anywhere. Like you could have gotten it there, but probably not because they obviously aren't showing any symptoms. You could have gotten it at the grocery store. You could have gotten it in the workout class that you took before you started feeling unwell.
Yeah.
Like no one is safe anywhere other than their home with the people that they're quarantined with.
Yeah. Totally.
And we just need to take this very seriously and stay at home. Everyone stay at home. Or if you need to, go for a walk, either by yourself or with your quarantine partner.
Yeah.
Stay as far away from other human beings who you don't know if they've been taking it seriously and quarantining. If you don't know if they've been having parties like some people have been, which they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Please, everybody stay home. This is so important. It's not worth it. It could hurt somebody else. It's not necessarily about you. You should think about everybody else. So
Absolutely.
just trying to see if there's anything else that people are asking that they want to know. Do you have any other, while I look through this, do you have anything else that you want people to know that I haven't asked you that you think is important?
Yeah, I mean, just in general, I know that I have a more severe case than lots of people do. Majority of people don't feel anything, don't feel any symptoms, and that's great. But you really, with that said, you need to be really careful and stay home, like Nina said.
Because they might be a carrier, even if
Yeah.
they don't feel the symptoms. That doesn't mean they're not passing it along to other people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would never want anyone to go through what I've been going through. It's horrible. I can't explain to you how horrible I have felt this week. I wouldn't wish it on anyone in the whole wide world. So please just take it seriously. Stay home. It's not worth it. If you feel like anything in your body doesn't feel right, call a doctor. There's no dumb questions. There's no being extra cautious. So just take care of yourself and drink lots and lots of water. You're supposed to drink a lot of hot water, a lot of hot teas, a lot of hot soups, gargling salt water. It all helps. So just stay on top of all of that.
Did the doctors tell you anything that you're supposed to, somebody just asked, how long does your doctor say it'll take you to recover? And did they give you any tips while you're recovering other than the meds that they gave you? You said hot water?
Hot water, hot anything. Hot water. Hot
Why is that? Do you know?
Because they think that the virus can't survive in heat.
Right, but we don't know that for sure yet, but that's what they're speculating.
Exactly. So all I'm doing is just doing what and everyone thinks is the right move right now, which is to drink hot fluids, to drink hot soups, to drink hot water, to gargle. But the gargling of the salt is good for the mucus, to clearing your throat. So it's very helpful because it gets super gross in there.
Whoa. Another person is asking, were you completely quarantined? Or are you completely quarantined, or are you still going out to buy essentials? How are you surviving?
I have not left my apartment in almost 2 weeks. I have my brother, my cousin, and my friends that are dropping off anything I need at my doorstep. And then I don't open my door until they're in their car. And then I go and just all I do is just open my door and grab it and close my door again. So I haven't left my apartment. I haven't gone outside. I haven't checked my mail. I haven't done anything.
Wow. Okay, so anyone out there watching this live who has sent Erica mail via the mail, you know why she hasn't responded now.
I haven't seen it.
Looking through these questions. Is it hard to breathe? We already answered that one. Does she have a stuffy nose?
I don't. That's a good question. I don't have a stuffy nose. It gets a little bit congested, just the mucus when I'm laying down on my back. But no, I have not had a stuffy nose. I have not needed to blow my nose. It is completely clear and I can breathe pretty perfect in it.
Good. So you don't need to go to the hospital at this stage?
No, I do not. My heart rate is normal. I can breathe. And that's all that matters. Unfortunately, unless you are in a position where you can't breathe, they won't even really let you into the hospitals right now. Keeping it only open for people that are severely, severely, severely ill.
How are you doing mentally? And what's the hardest thing about this whole process, if you had to choose one thing?
The hardest thing is being away from my family. I wish I was with my mom and dad right now, but I can't be. But I'm just trying to stay positive. You guys are so helpful. All the positive and encouragement and the messages I'm getting from you guys are truly making me feel better. Knowing that I am going through this and I can help other people is helping me get through this.
Mm.
And you just got to stay positive during these times, because it's really important to stay positive and smile even when you don't want to, because that's what the world needs right now. And we all have to just help cheer each other on.
You're absolutely right about that. Good for you for having a semi-positive outlook despite this really, really difficult time.
Yeah.
But also, I'm sure you're FaceTiming a lot with people, or, you know, I mean, I've been FaceTiming with you every day, but
Yeah.
is it harder to FaceTime, or is it annoying? You want to just sleep? Like, what?
I'm trying to sleep.
Do I need to stop calling you is what I'm asking, or am I helping, or am I?
You're calling a lot. You're calling a lot. No, I have been talking to a ton of people. At times, I don't respond to people for hours and hours and hours because I don't feel good and I don't have the energy for it. And sometimes FaceTime I can't do, or I can't call because when I feel like I'm talking again, I have coughing attacks. But I am talking to people whenever I feel like I have the energy for it, and that is helping me get through it too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Someone asked your head, where in your head does it hurt? Is it like in the front? Is it in the back? Is it, where is it?
Right.
It's all in the front. Interesting.
It's all in the front. It's all like this area. And then right above where my neck hits my head, I feel like I need to pull my hair to give it like breathing room. I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel like when I pull it a little bit, it makes my headache not as insane.
Of course.
I've been taking a lot of baths, letting the shower hit me as I sit in the bathtub. Putting it on.
I feel like you said at the beginning that you were taking a lot of baths and a lot of showers because you were sweating so much and getting rid of your fever was so high that you felt dirty because there was so much sweat all the time. Like, that's how extreme it was.
Wet. Yeah, I was taking like 4 or 5 showers a day.
Honestly, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I first, like we all did, we all kind of were like, oh, it's scary, but it's not that. Like, we were all unsure of exactly what this was. It wasn't until I saw Erica firsthand and what she was going through and how hard this has been for her. This is why we thought it was so important to show everybody else. For those few people that are still not taking it seriously, that still might think that this is not a big deal. It's a very big deal, and it sucks. And you don't want to be that person. And if you're that selfish, like, you just need to really stay at home, get out of there. Somebody asked what is it like at night? Can you sleep, or are you waking up throughout the night a lot?
I'm not sleeping very well. Last night was one of the better sleeps I've had. The days before, I slept maybe 2 or 3 hours. It's hard to lay down when you're having coughing attacks, because when you finally feel like you can breathe again, you lay back down, and then the mucus kind of comes back to your throat, and then you have to sit up and start coughing it out. I am trying my best. I'm also trying to hydrate like crazy, so I have been going to the bathroom every hour, which isn't helpful when you finally get to sleep and you have to go to the restroom again. But
right.
I'm just doing the best that I possibly can. But no, I'm not sleeping very well. I'm trying to nap throughout the whole day to make up for the hours that I'm losing at night. I actually feel more comfortable when I'm sitting up in the couch than laying back down right now.
Yeah.
But
good, because if you weren't feeling well, I hope you'd go get comfortable.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be uncomfortable during this live.
Yeah, I feel better right now.
Good. Somebody just asked, are you wearing a mask? I'd like to comment on that really quickly.
Yeah.
I think that everyone knows, and I talked about this earlier, that I'm making a donation because we're running out of masks at the hospitals. if you already have a mask from before, like I do, I ordered mine 3 months ago, and you should be wearing that just in case. They're saying they don't work, but better safe than sorry if you already have one. If you do not have a mask, do not order masks for your own use. We need them at the hospitals. Erica has been inside for 9 days with symptoms and a few days before that.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you're not using a mask because there's no point in using a mask in your own home by yourself, I'm guessing.
Exactly.
But, so yeah, that answers your question.
Yeah. Doctors actually say that you shouldn't wear masks if you're sick inside because it's harder for you to breathe.
True, and you're already having trouble breathing, so you don't want to do that. Okay, well, I think if that's all the questions I think I have, let me just make sure on my document here. The cliff notes are Erica is hopefully on the other end of this and she's going to start feeling better. She still feels like dog shit right now, and that sucks. But we're going to be FaceTiming with her and taking care of her remotely as best we can. I know I've been sending her lots of goodies in the,
So sweet.
you know, like deliveries and stuff that they've been leaving outside. But I'm going to send donation information for those of you who want to join me in partnering and helping the hospitals get more supplies. And just spread as much of the information as you can. And if something happens to you guys, it's going around. You're not alone. Just stay inside to slow the curve, or curb the, what is it? Flatten the curve of the virus spreading. And just practice common sense. I hope everyone's safe out there. Erica, I hope you feel better. I love you. I'm so sorry you're going through this.
I love you, and I love everyone out there, and I hope you guys please take care of yourselves. It's not funny. You can go to cdc.gov if you have any questions about any of coronavirus, anything.
Exactly. Well, we're going to check in on you in a couple days, see how you're doing, and yeah, everybody stay safe out there. All right, Eric, I'll FaceTime you after this.
All right, bye.
Bye, guys.